Thank you. Frame 5, Mark Selby to break.
Mid-session interval over. Mark Selby gets frame 5 underway, and I'm certain both players will be hoping that the next frames that we play are a bit more free-flowing than they were in the first half of this match. There you go. Just over 2 hours for 4 frames. Be expensive if you're in the local snooker club. Nearly, but it's okay.
Thin safety shot of the one below the pink. The fact that the blue's off its spot makes this safety shot a little bit easier, because the white will be travelling very near the blue. It's okay, played it nicely, thinner than I thought he would play it. I thought he'd open a few more reds. Every frame we seem to have the black going safe. It's gone safe again.
I'm not playing the pot on this red. He's just got to get round the back of the black here. Not certain to. Well, he missed the pot, and having missed it and run into another red, I suppose a little bit fortunate to get it safe. But at least he's cleared the black. So if anyone should get a chance, the black is available now.
This is what he's left with Hawkeye. As you can see the one down there to pot, but it's a bit risky. But he may be forced into playing it. If he leaves the white down this end, of course, he will be on the black. Down that side is too risky to play a pot down there. So there's a bit of mileage in playing this red down the one you're looking at there. If he runs it in on and off the cushion, he's looking down the other side of the table at the minute. But I fancy the long pot.
Yeah, I think both situations, as you've explained with me, I think the thing is sometimes you try to work out the percentages. Is it easier to play the safety? And I agree with you, it isn't. So he's taking this pot on for me. And not only took it on, floated it in beautifully. And on the black, good shot. And how many times of a player have we done that where we thought we played an excellent safety shot and you leave your opponent with nothing but a pot on? Well, he knocked the black in, but where's the next red? Is the one just below the pink available into the left middle?
8.
It is. You just get the feeling
9.
about this match that if one player stepped up the pace and made one sizable frame-winning contribution, then the other one might just relax and start playing his normal game. Sometimes players can bring one another down. I think of the two, Mark Selby
15.
would have been well pleased to be 2 each at the interval.
16. $23. $24.
Just slightly hampered here because queuing down on it when you're trying to run through round 2 cushions, which we'd like to do here. Well, he's going to try and screw back. When you bounce in the white, it makes it a lot more difficult pot. Well, he hit that beautifully. Couldn't have played that better if he played it all day. Very, very good shot that was.
Yes, and put a little bit of side on the cue ball to bring it up. And this time he's found a gap for his arm.
32.
I'm surprised queuing the way he did, John. He got so much reaction on the cue ball. He hit that really well. A fraction too well. But he's still in prime position. 4 reds. That's gone slightly astray. The bottom one of the 4 below the pink will cut into the corner.
39.
But he'll be kissing into the reds. Is that worth taking the risk? The way the match has gone so far, probably not. But a confident Mark Selby would take it on.
Had to take a chance for a position, but he's not the red in. No. Well, just when you thought he was starting to get his cue arm going, and chance of a frame-winning contribution, wasn't really close to that pink, was he?
One.
Seven of the 8 remaining reds are in slightly tricky positions, so you do well just to get back into the frame here. You wouldn't expect him to clear from here. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, but all to do, just getting back into the frame at this visit is what he'll be trying to do. Anything else is a bonus.
Eight. Nine.
Well, he's giving himself a little bit to do with the cue ball here. He's going to have to cue down on it to force an angle that's not quite there. Rolling it in plain ball. I don't know whether he can widen the angle enough to get onto the red. He feels he can, and he did, and the kiss will help. Good shot. A little bit unlucky to finish straight.
Not only straight, hampered by the red just above the cue ball. So this isn't easy. I think it's one of them, you just want to roll the red in and don't concentrate on good position on the black. He knows he's going to leave himself a toughish black, but you don't want to get too cute with a difficult pot like this.
$17. $24. $25.
The kick's wide in the angle. He'd have been virtually going into the outside of the three reds there, bar from the kick. The fact that it's kicked, let's throw the white a lot
30.
wider. Okay, this red will just drop in the middle, but he can't get onto a colour. There's a bit of mileage in taking the double on the right-hand red that's away from the cushion. He can get on the black and he won't leave anything on. He's not had a look at the double yet. The one on the other side of the table to what he's looking now. I think I'd be tempted. He's having a look now, but does he fancy it?
Well, is it the double, or is he going to play safe off this red? I suggest it's the double. Or a treble. He wasn't close to the double, and because he wasn't that close to it, this red is on to the right centre.
One.
Now, if he could get somewhere near that circle, he'd have a choice of two reds. Well, he got near the circle. Why play it so hard? If he had the angle to get there, why didn't he try and get in the circle?
Could have dropped on all three reds, John. He was just relying on a bit
7.
of good fortune there, wasn't he? Whatever kiss he had, he'd had to work right. Playing your shot, wherever he landed, he would have been on a red.
Well, having said that, it was a big target, the three reds. If he could get there, then maybe he should have got the cannon. And if he couldn't get the cannon, then you play for the circle.
Well, that's a bit careless, Ricky. Even though he's knocked the red up near the blue, I think the red's still potable in the middle, so the next two reds, two colours should be relatively straightforward. And it's just about those two on the left. 17 points in front.
1.
Now, it all depends what angle he's got on this pink. I mean, the obvious red he could play for is the one by the blue. And that's the one he decided on. But it's imperative off this red he gets a good angle on the colour. He's 24 points in front. And the possible 51 remaining.
8.
Pots the yellow, 27. The choice of these reds in the corner or in the right middle, and that looks inch perfect.
10.
Very good shot, wasn't it, that one? He had to widen the angle with the yellow. It wasn't absolutely perfect, but played it really nicely, and he'll be disappointed if he doesn't win the frame now. He needs to get on the pink nicely though, so he can get onto the last red.
Yes, he does need the last red.
11.
Pots this pink, he'll go 34 points in front, but there's still 35 left.
So he'd like to try and get on the cushion really with this cue ball if he plays off one cushion. Well, he's played to leave the long red. I thought he'd try and drop behind it for choice of pockets. This red's missable from here. It's frame ball though.
17.
Yes, and what might make it a little bit more awkward is the blue. The blue will be just under his body. Ricky Walden hoping that he gets another chance this frame, and he will if Mark can't pot this red. He's having to use the extension because of the blue. I think if the blue wasn't there, I'd fancy him to knock this in, but it's just slightly off-putting. Yes, it just
Mark Selby, 17.
took his eye off the ball, so to speak. So he's 34 points in front, but there's still 35 left on the table. Which tells us that if Ricky Walden's going to play this red, he needs the black if he's going to win it at this visit. Anything else, and well, the pink he could only tie.
Just needs to miss the kiss on the pink if he plays the pot, and I couldn't say I was going to miss the kiss.
No, couldn't agree with you more, but he's had a result there. He certainly can't pot the red, can't Mark? Well, there you see it. Full ball snooker.
Well, that was dangerous the way he played that. I mean, the fact that he's 34 in front, probably felt that he could play it that way, knowing that there'd be plenty of distance between the red and being able to get back up for the black. But Ricky has got a lot of cue power. We saw that earlier on with one of the best shots we've seen in the tournament so far, a deep screw shot. He's going to have to play another one here. Just got to avoid the jaws of the middle pocket. I think he can get into it enough in playing it off the one cushion, well, two cushions he'll play for the black, to miss the middle pocket okay. Look how low he's cueing. Has he missed the jaws of the middle? He did do, and he would have been on the black.
Yes, but he's missed it, and this red will pass the green, and it's only the red needed. Good pot, and that should be the frame clincher. Puts in 35 points in front with only only 27 left on the table. And that will just mean that Ricky Walden will not be coming back to the table. So he looked in a bit of trouble at one time, the defending champion, when he was 2-1 behind, and
7.
the fourth frame, both players had chances, but he's won that. He's come out and won this first frame, so he'll be feeling a lot better.
10.
And Ricky Walden at the moment, just wonder now he's dropped a frame behind whether he may relax and just start playing his normal game, because he's not
40.
really got into any good rhythm at the moment. Blue won't matter. Ricky Walden concedes, so Ricky Walden 2-1 up, now finds himself 3-2 behind. Michaela Tabb just setting up the balls. You may have noticed she's got a little bit of a tan. I was chatting to her, Willie. She went with the family. They went to Florida for the New Year. She wouldn't have got a tan like that in England the way it's been over Christmas.
Yeah, she works very hard, Michaela. There's also plays on the American, or referees on the American pool circuit as well. So I think you can count on one hand the mistakes she's made since she's been refereeing. That's Ricky Walden's turn to play catch-up for the first time, and it'll be interesting, as John said, to see whether this suddenly kicks him into gear, because Mark's starting to find his way around, isn't he? He's starting to look a lot more confident. Once again, the black's gone safe. Seems every time Ricky Walden breaks, the black goes safe, so maybe he's going to have to find a new break in future, because he's a break builder. He's not necessarily one of the game's great safety players. He's a very, very good break builder. Can't afford the black to be safe when you're a break builder.
Well, that red that Ricky Walden just played safe off just caught the knuckle of the middle pocket, and that just causes a slight problem here for Mark Selby. He's got to be careful he doesn't leave that red to the right middle. Well, I can't believe he went for the pot there. He's just mishit that.
Yeah, just played the up and down safety. Just caught the red a little bit thinner than he expected. He's playing to push the red up near the other red that's near the cushion and mishit it. Now the pink's available in the middle, and so he can get onto that if he screws back. A bit of side he needs. Didn't really get any side on. A little bit of side there would have brought the white more in open play and closer to the pink. Still on, but shouldn't be a problem. Where does the pink go? Will it spot? If not, pink and black will be tied up again.
Well, I don't think McKay will be able to get the pink on there. So going as close to its own spot as it can in a direct line with the middle of the top cushion. But as you so rightly say, Willie, puts it out of commission. So the shot to play here, maybe not straight away, but
7.
Pot the red, get nice angle on the blue, go into the cluster. You could release the pink, you could release the black. Well, playing this red, he could release the pink off this shot.
8.
Never moved.
Yes, the screw shot he just played off the pack. I agree with John that the pink could have come out there, but you can play like a forcing screw sometimes. That means you hit it a little bit harder and don't get it quite so low, which means the cue ball will go a little bit wider, and he would have split a few more reds out and possibly brought the pink out. There's definitely some mileage in going straight into them here. Regardless of how many loose reds are on, you've got to get pink and black into play. And this is absolutely perfect to hit the front red, and he will bring pink and black into play if he hits it hard enough. Well, win or lose, that's not a good shot. Because what's he going to do now?
13.
Play 3 or 4 more blues? Then he's going to have to play the kiss. Why not play it when you get the chance?
$14.
Well, he's obviously decided that he feels he can get on one of these 2 reds to flick the red away from the black. Now, if he can, I would have to say that he's done
19.
the right thing in not playing into the bunch, but I didn't think what this angle was on. But he may have the angle now. Just a little bit thin, this, to make sure you can hold the white. Here you see the white's just running away. But you know, I mean,
Pretty well done.
I go back to the
19.
chance he had to bring pink and black into play. That was a difficult shot to play, that one.
Well, he'd have preferred the second red to just stay over the pocket there, but the main thing is he's got a nice angle on the blue.
$7. $8.
Yes, the angle, the Ricky was playing a really delicate shot here. You can see the thinness of that red there, that he was always going to lose the white a little bit as far as getting the black's concerned. That's why he had to hit it so slowly. I must admit, I thought the red would reach. So it's Mark Selby's turn to play not an aggressive shot. He went into them. Not at pace
13.
though, so hampered queuing.
$14. $19. $20.
Well, he's got a perfect angle once again to cannon into the reds, but he's also got the option of playing for that red just above the black. It all depends how he sees it. I mean, wouldn't be hard to split those reds open, but maybe getting on the red just above the black would be a nice position to be in. It depends how you feel and how you see it. Sometimes you think that nothing's running well, so why take a chance? Well, he does take the chance and he plays the cannon, and he's just about on this red to the left corner.
25.
So frame winning chance now.
Yes, and he appears to have the angle to be able to screw up for the blue or bought colour. And with pink and black into play now, as John mentioned, it should be a frame winner. Certainly a better match now, isn't it, after the interval? I know that Ricky Walden won't think that, but at least they're both getting in and scoring quickly now. Selby's pot success rate has improved slightly. And if he goes on to win this frame at one visit, it'll improve even more. He touched the 90%.
31. $32.
That's the problem when you have to keep going for the blue. You need to get the good angle, and I think he's too straight. So he can't get good on the next red. Well, you won't see many better shots than that, believe me. That is superb. Well played, very well played.
It was the angle he generated, John, wasn't it? It looked nearly straight. Excellent shot. Unfortunately, he's finished slightly the wrong angle as far as being able to get onto black or pink. That's the reason he's queuing low. Oh, he's played
38.
that poorly though. He's going to have to go in and out of balk, is he? Or is he going to have to play exactly the same shot? If he does, I bet he doesn't play it as good as he did the previous time. This was the shot. And it just, the way the white took off, it just picked up speed. Excellent shot. Needs another one though.
Yeah, lots of top, lots of follow through, and a little bit of side to help it, but it was the top spin that generated the pace. But not the option this time, too straight. So he still needs a good shot if he's going to clinch the frame at this visit.
43.
And this is the red coming up.
$44.
Good pot. Now, how tricky is this pink? A lot will depend on how he can cue the white. Yes, played it well. And you can't see any reason why he won't take the frame
50.
now at this visit. It was a tricky shot, that, and he played it well. He's played some good shots in this break, and just beginning, Willie, I know it's a strange thing to say about a single player, just seems to be getting his eye in.
Yes, it's been very scrappy earlier on. Mark has developed into a player that
51.
likes to score heavily, and he's been kept a little bit nullified in the opening 4 frames. He certainly, after the interval, looks a different player. Just the red. We're taking him to a 4-2 lead. And it'll be Ricky Walden who's going to have to dig very deep. Played well
58.
yesterday evening against Mark King, won that match 6-2. He needs to find that kind of form again this evening. Otherwise this match could slip away from him very quickly.
So the frame's safe.
65.
He needs a black off this red if he's going to make the 100 break. Yes, and he's playing for the black.
66.
He knows the crowd like to see a century, and if he knocks this black in, the colour's on the spot, you'd expect him to get one.
Lovely shot. Very good.
73.
I mentioned earlier on in commentary,
75.
two most improved players in the world at the moment are Mark Selby and Joe Perry. Joe Perry's amassed 100 centuries so far. Mark Selby's amassed 101. So the break building is going along pretty parallel
78.
at the moment. Joe Perry's yet to win a major tournament, which I'm sure he will soon. This will be century 102 if he clears.
82.
Chance of the 7th century of the tournament as well. We haven't seen
7.
anything above the 128 that was got this afternoon, but I'm sure that you need at least 140 plus to win the highest break prize.
93.
So the Jester from Leicester, century 102. Very, very well played. There was precious little on when he started that break, but compiled it beautifully. Mark Selby goes 2 frames in front at 4 frames to 2.
Game 7. Max Selby to break.
Mark Selby gets frame 7 underway, just needing 2 more. These matches best of 11, and the prize, a place in the quarter-final. Ricky Walden, of course, being a wild card, had to play the extra match. Just have a look. Hawkeye tells us that he snookered on all reds.
Foul and a miss.
The
Max Selby
gap's there
scored.
to get into the side of the pack, but if he kissed the red that he nearly did first, he could leave a red on. So he wants to play it slightly different than the way he did, because if he catches that red full in the face, he'll leave a red on. He wants to get into the pack near the pink, so he needs to come a lot lower down.
Mark.
Yeah, that's the red he's trying to make contact with. Well, you're right. Ooh, is he going to slide off him? It's okay. Well, I say it's okay. There's not a red to the far right corner, is he? No.
Slightly more aggressive safety shot from Mark. He's now queuing very well. Breaks of 40 and 100 in the last 2 frames, so decided to try and open things up a little bit. Brought the pink into play. Ricky's had a quick glance at a 3-ball plant, but he can't, by looking from the commentary position, I don't think he can get through to the red. He's only really looking in playing safety whether he'd push one over the corner, I think. He's going to go close to the pocket if he plays this last red. I don't know whether he's playing the one to the left or the pink. No, he's playing that 3-ball plant. And that's, if he didn't know that was on, you shouldn't play it. You know, if he's covered it, he's been lucky, because without the kiss on the yellow, he would have probably left that red.
this isn't a straightforward return back to baulk. There's that line of 3 reds which it's possible maybe to play safer. Well, I don't think he's going to try and get back to the baulk end. He's just trying to play a containing safety. Well, he's gone for a... Oh, well, that was a super shot. Oh, and unlucky. That was the only way he could get back to baulk, hitting it that thin. Did well. That red hardly moved. The bump on the middle pocket, but it hasn't left anything easy. There was a chance of a pot though. And I always think those type of shots, when you can return to baulk, they're a half a chance, aren't they, really? And if he could have knocked that red in then, okay, if he hadn't been on a colour, he could have rolled up behind a baulk colour and really been asking Mark Selby a question. But once again, this isn't the easiest safety shot. This is not straightforward to get it back to baulk. He's got to catch this just right. And didn't.
Oh, the good safety shot has forced the opening, but it's going to be tough to get onto a colour. This red will cut in the middle, and if he screws it in to avoid the kiss on the red on the cushion, he could get on the pink in the middle, but he may decide to play it with a lot of side to go for blue or baulk colour. Yeah, that's what he's done, a lot of side, and played it nicely. Good shot. If he played that plain ball, he would have gone into the red, so he played that lovely.
Five. Six.
Yes, as we've said many times, it's tough to break build, isn't it, when you're having to go for blue or baulk colour all the time. Pink's in play, but he has yet to get onto a red where he can get onto the pink. It's all about what reds go in the left hand side. You can see the one at the bottom of the pack will pot. That's one he can get onto here if he wants, but once again you've got to generate a lot of topspin on this cue ball to get there. So the one right at the bottom of the pack, 4 down from the pink, that red there, that's the one he'd like to get on. Well, he's got too much into the cue ball. Gone a lot harder than he wanted.
9.
Terrific pot. That really was a good pot. And remember, he's 4-2 behind, so he's fighting to get back in this match. So under pressure, couldn't have played that much better. I think at the moment he's got to forget about the black. Well, I'm not happy there with the contact. Immediately asking for Michaela Tabb
13.
to clean the cue ball. Yeah, probably just didn't respond immediately to the cue ball after hitting the green, which is why he's probably a little bit. Well, can he cannon the black into play here? He can.
14.
That makes a big difference. Although I'd like that black just to bounce a fraction off the cushion.
Just going to say exactly the same thing, John. This black's just in a position where it's missable, but the fact that he can play it really slowly gives the pocket every chance. Yeah, played it nicely. It was handy that the two reds both came into play. If one of those two reds had covered one another, playing that black at
21.
pace to get onto another red would have been tough. It made it a lot easier, the fact that you could just roll it in dead weight. Good performance this. I know the break's only at 21, but he's played these really nicely. And now
22.
he's got a chance to win the frame at this visit.
$29. 30. 37. 38.
I think the red just below the pink will pot in the middle, so he doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball here. And saying that, he needed another 2 or 3 inches of pace to make it a certainty, but the next red's going to be tough, because he'd either need an angle on the pink in the corner or one of the baulk colours to get into the reds, because I think this is the last one of the easy accessible reds.
46.
So this pink is going to flick a few reds out. He's got to be careful. He didn't hold the cue ball as well as you would have liked. He needed to be slightly straighter on this. Very well played. Very well played. Deserves to win the frame now. Excellent shot.
52. 53. 60. 61.
Now then, he's 57 in front, the black 64. So one more red needed, and I think he's just come a little straight on the black to make this a certainty to go into them. The pink, same scenario. Doesn't have a good angle on the pink either, so where's the next red coming from? Is there a plant on after the pink? Oh, he's played that well again. He's found his stroke.
Yeah, it was funny was saying sometimes players can bring each other down, but Mark Selby since the mid-session interval has raised his game, and you just felt that Ricky Walden had to respond, and he is doing. So now we've got a game on.
$74. $75. $81. $82. $89. $90.
Well, he'd be disappointed. Normally it wouldn't matter, but he'd be disappointed not to make the century. But that was more like it. And as I say, we've got a game on. Although Mark Selby still leads by 4 frames to 3.
Mate, Ricky Walden to break.
Not the best break off from Ricky, but once again the black appears to be tied up. I think if he finished low on this red, the black would pot, but he'd have to finish low. Decided it was far too risky, so just the safety. Been a bit fortunate there, Mark. He's mishit that safety, and luckily for him, he's covered the red on the right-hand side with the other red. Now, how poorly he played the safety, he was entitled to stick one of those two up. The big frame, this, isn't it, for Ricky Walden? 4-4 back in it, 5-3 would have it all to do. Similar scenario here for Ricky now. He's kissed the brown as well, but neither of these two reds pot. But there is a cuttable one, and he can go around the back of the black, but would have to play it with a lot of stun on the side. Needs a kiss to slow the white down. He's got the kiss to slow the white down.
1.
That white would have been in balk. You always play this as a shot for nothing to get the white tight on the ball cushion, and the fact that he's now got a kiss, obviously it's slowed the white down enough to have a choice of yellow or blue, both of which are tough. Neither yellow or blue are easy.
Three.
Maybe you'd have been happier if it had been a little bit further down the table, but the black's available after this red. Just the blue, just slightly in his way. Just off-putting because you don't actually get your cue arm and your bridge hand exactly where you would normally have it because of the blue. He's knocked it in nicely and he's held it well for the black. Good chance to get some points on the board.
$11. 12. 19. 20.
more or less blocking the path to open up the cluster, but it's important after this red he gets a nice angle on the black. There's one loose red after this, but it's the cluster he'll be looking to run into.
$35.
And that looks about perfect. Now if you're going to play for the worst possible scenario, you just well done. Now as he held it for the yellow, that cue ball needs to slow down. It has done. So no more reds to bring out, they're all in the open. Frame winning chance to go one frame away from a place in the quarter-final. Well, he can get through to the brown. That's a bonus.
$47. 48.
Well, the standards have improved dramatically
55.
since the mid-session interval, and I'm sure Mark
56.
Selby's feeling a lot better than he was at the start of this match when he just struggled a bit. I think it was probably both players showing each other a little bit too much respect. In the 6th frame, Mark Selby had a century break. Last frame, Ricky
63.
Walden a 90, and there you see it, 63 ahead, 75 remaining, just a red and a cover required. Formality, it seems.
64.
On every likelihood, we could see another century from Mark Selby here. The applause tells you frame over, and
70.
Ricky Walden will not be coming back to the table, so he's staring defeat in the face.
71.
Had a chance when he was 2-1 to go 3-1 in front at the mid-session interval, but didn't take it.
$78. $79. Mark Selby, 79, and lovely.
Well, that's a pity. You could have seen 2 centuries in the last 2 frames, but anyway, the frame was well and truly over, and Ricky Walden got a mountain to climb as the defending champion goes 1 away from a place in the quarter-final. Well, Ricky Walden has left the arena just to try and get himself together for a big push. When he comes back, we'll continue with commentary.
Frame 9. Mark Selby to break.
Mark Selby, defending champion, gets frame 9 underway. We want to be hoping he can win to take him through to the quarter-final. He said, I was reading an article that he said he was going to be nervous coming in, defending his title, but he'll be feeling a lot better now. Well, terrific red. Does the black go? The reason I say that, I've not certainly had any... Well, it does go, doesn't it? You get that feeling now it's going to be all or nothing for Ricky. He's got to push the boat out and not miss. Well, the cannon could have worked out a little better. He's just about on this red to the right corner. I'm not certain if the black still goes. If it does, he's going to use long rest. Yeah, it still goes. This is a shot which is a little easier today, Willie, isn't it? with the extension to the rest and extension on your cue. Remember the old days when you used the...
You wouldn't want to play this, John, would you, slowly with a little bit of side with one of those tips on those cues? With your own tip, you can play this just nice and slowly. There they are at the side of the table. That's what we used to have to use.
Yeah, just because of cosmetic purposes now, they're left there. No one ever uses them. Well, they decided not to try and hold for the black, and that cue ball, well, played for the blue. I'm a little bit surprised. The black still goes as we saw, but as I say, he decided to go up for the blue, and he's just about on it. As you see, the black goes, but try to get on the blue. And he can pop the blue, but he can't do much with the cue ball. That's the problem.
No, the angle he's got on the red. I just wonder whether he can stun it in and just
14.
Play the full ball cannon into the red to flick it away. Because that's the only way he can hold it. He can't get onto the black in the right hand corner. My colleague JV's put a line up for me. That's the kind of shot I was thinking of, and it is on. But it's one of those, if you kiss it perfect, you're okay. If you don't, it goes wrong. So whether he decide to play that shot or not, we'll know in a moment. Decided against it, and don't blame
15.
him. It wasn't a straightforward positional shot. And we know that the red above the black will pot, and he's got a chance of getting on it here from the yellow.
Well, there was a red at the bottom of the cluster
17.
that would have gone into the left corner, but underhit that by a couple of feet, so only a safety shot left.
Ricky Walden, 17.
Okay, giving us a view of this. The problem is with this shot, it's that red near the top cushion. You'd like to play off the main bunch of reds, but if you caught it too thin, that red near the top cushion, you can't afford to contact that. Oh, where's the red going? Ooh, a fluke.
1.
Always handy. Now, this is a tester for Mark. He's put his hand up and apologised. You think that'll stop him playing the snooker behind the brown? I don't think so.
I mean, either. I think, though, in fairness, he'd rather be snookered than see Mark Selby on a bought colour with a chance to win frame and match at this visit.
Mark Selby,
This
1.
is in his own hands now, whether he can force a safety shot.
Well, I'm trying to look for a red that leaves this safe, and I'm having a problem finding one at the moment. suppose a possibility, just try the one cushion, lots of left hand side, and try and nestle into that red. It's about as safe as I can see, but this isn't straightforward, particularly when I think he's going to have to put left hand side on to just change the angle coming off the one cushion. Over a minute, there's certain times you look at shot time and think, well, they're taking too long, but I don't blame Ricky here. If he makes a mistake, then the match could be all over. So he's playing this shot. You see how much side he's having to put on the cue ball to get it to slide off that cushion. Now follow the line, follow the line. Wonderful.
Yes, he's played it that well. It's tough for Mark to get back into balk. There's no shot, I don't think, to get back into balk, and I don't think it's touching. He's got to be careful if he just runs off them, not to leave a pot on. May have to just tap into it.
Jimbo.
Well, that's a result for Ricky Walden, touching ball. So, where to put the cue ball to make it difficult for your opponent? And if the yellow was a little bit further away from the ball cushion, you try and sneak in behind that, but I'm not thinking that that is a certainty. So, worst way, get it tight to the ball cushion. Can he get behind the yellow? I don't know. Can he sneak it behind the yellow? Well played. He's done it. I didn't think there was enough room, but there was just a little gap, and he found it. Looks like the pink.
Foul and a miss.
There's no reason not to have it replaced. I mean, okay, it might have been a free ball, but there was nothing to go at. So he's found a line here.
Okay.
Pink again.
Foul and a miss. Ricky Walden, 6.
Well, it makes you wonder, having hit the pink twice, whether he can get far enough down the cushion to... He's playing to hit the red that's just to the left of the pink.
Okay, Ricky.
He should be able to. That's better. Yeah, well played.
Oh. And a miss.
Well, as you see, he
Max
hit the
Selby.
white, but he didn't reach the red. Frightened of playing a push shot. And of course the yeah, put it back, he said. Yeah, nowhere to put it. Well, he played that pretty well, but what he has done, he's left an easy path back to the balk end now for Mark Selby. That's why he just tried to nestle onto the red. Yeah, good length. Well, that was asking the impossible. That really was. Well, I'm not saying it was an easy safety, but I can't believe that he really thought that he could. I mean, obviously he must have played to it very, very thin, but even then there was a chance of the double kiss. How costly is it going to be, though? I think it was an easy red to go at. I think Mark would have been down playing it by now.
Yeah, the one that's nearest the cue ball will pop, but he can't hold it for the black, so he'll have to play for blue or baulk colour. If he gets top side of the blue, it's a chance to win frame and match, because the black's available in the left-hand corner.
1.
Well, he was willing that red
4.
to stop so he could run it through and play for the black. I don't know whether he can do that now. He might have to go back up for the blue. If he does, needs a good angle.
5.
Needs us to
Quietly,
bounce
please.
because he'd like to be on this red straight. We know that the black then will be available into both
10.
pockets, so this is a good chance for frame and match. One more good cannon needed on that cluster below the pink.
11.
Just when he'll play it. Doesn't have to play it now, there's still plenty of reds available, at least 2. And if he finishes low on this red, he can push through and bring another couple of reds into play, may even bring the pink into play
18.
as well here. Don't know whether he's straight enough to do that or just off straight. Yeah, he couldn't bring the pink into play.
19.
Now this is risky, but the cannon into the 4 reds below the pink, he'll be on the 2 reds that are in open play if he cannons them full ball. And if that goes right, it could be the end. He must play it. Well, I'm surprised he's not took that risk, because he's going to have to play the cannon shortly.
26.
Maybe feels it up for the blue and then play the cannon.
27.
Well, he's got an angle on this blue, but he's not perfect. And the reason I say that is because you're going to have to force the cue ball down into the pink. And you feel he's going to play the cannon this time around. A little bit thinner on the blue. He wouldn't have had to put any pace in the cue ball. It would have been a natural potting angle. Maybe that's why he's looking for this red along the top cushion. There's 3 points to lead, so he needs those 4 reds gathered below the pink in play. Now it's alright playing for this one along the top cushion as long as you don't come straight. And I think he's just about got an angle. Just.
Mark Selby,
And even
32.
so, it made it missable. Red along the top cushion. So that was a decent chance, and as you say, Willie, he missed one opportunity to go in the reds, and then the next time it wasn't ideal. Will he get a better chance than that this frame? Not close. I wasn't looking at the red, I was looking at Ricky Walden. As soon as he hit it, he was walking back to his chair.
This is a bit risky, but if he plays the pot in the right hand corner, he's going to have to screw it in with check side. Now if he finishes low on the black, he can cover the red over the middle pocket. He's just looking there to make sure that if he does play for the black, he can cover the red over the middle just in case he misses it. But he's really going to have to get into the cue ball. He probably feels that the safety is a better choice. We'll know in a moment whether he's playing the pot or the safety. Safety is his choice. And he's played it nicely, that. Good shot.
Well, it's not a bad safety from Mark. I'm not certain whether this red to the edge of the 4 below the pink, but the main thing is it's a big target behind brown and green, and that's what he's aiming for. Misses the brown, it'll be a good safety, this.
Could you please stop talking?
That's pretty good. Michaela, telling people to stop talking. We weren't referring to you and I, Willie. Now where does this cue ball finish? Well, I'm not certain that was an attempt at a pot. I think if he'd have played the pot in angle, he'd have been running into other balls. I think he deliberately overcut it. But he's not put any pressure on the next shot here from Ricky Walden. Hand on the table. Is he looking at a pot? Well, if he is, this is certainly all or nothing. He's got an easy safety shot on the red on the left hand side of the table. Cross double. Back up towards the balk end. If he takes this on, he needs to get it.
Well, he can only take it on as a deep screw, John, and if he doesn't get past the blue spot area, this is dangerous. But he's blessed with cue power.
The problem is when you play them at that pace, I know what he's thinking. If they rattle the jaws, you know, the only red you could leave, but it's careered into another one. He hasn't got past the baulk line. He's left his straight red to the left corner. But an easy safety. So this red, this could be the match winner if he can knock it in. Not really that close.
One.
Well, the way he's played that, he's played it nicely. You would expect the red next to the pink would pot, otherwise he wouldn't have played the cue ball where it was. And this has to be a great chance to get back to within one frame.
7. Keep your... Twelve. 13. 20. 21.
Now, if this is dead straight, that could cause a few problems because you have to screw on and off the cushion, and he's not bound to get onto the red to make it a certainty. This is about the worst possible place he could have finished. He needs to be about 18 inches past the pink to make this red easy, and he's only 13 in front. The black will be 20, so virtually needs both the last two reds. And now's the cue ball. No, he'd have liked another 3 or 4 inches of pace. This is missable.
28. 29.
That's a very good shot. Has the angle on black or pink. You can drop on the cushion behind the red. That gives you a chance of more pockets to play for. He's 21 points in front, so he only needs the red. He's just looking whether he can get onto it nicely on the cushion to pot it in the middle. May need a little bit of left hand side. Plain ball, maybe going into the red rather than towards the cushion. So just that tad of left hand side look, just to take it onto the cushion. Well played. The red for 5-4.
36.
He's battled hard here, Ricky Walden, and Mark Selby, who was looking for this frame for a place in the quarter-final, may have to wait a little longer. because this red will clinch it. It's there.
37.
He's battled hard, and he's not without a chance. There's 3 more frames possible to play. Ricky Walden needs 2, Mark Selby needs 1. None out of it by a long
39.
shot.
41. 44. 48. 53. 59.
Well, obviously a foul shot, but more than enough to take the frame. Ricky Walden keeps the match alive, but still trails by 5 frames to 4.
Well, there you go. There's a few people who probably got work in the morning. It's getting a bit late now. The last tube, and it's getting that way now that it's going to be. It is turning out to be a bit of a war of attrition as both players get ready to get ready for this last frame. Michaela Tabb just having a word. I think she's having a few problems with 1 or 2 people in the audience. It isn't easy, of course, when you sat there, and that's the one thing and creates the atmosphere in snooker, that you sit there, you've got to be quiet, show respect for the players, and it's been a long evening. This match already over 3.5 hours playing time, but it doesn't lessen the importance for both players. Big tournament, the Masters, big money at stake, and Ricky Walden is still in it.
Ricky Walden to break.
Good break off, and once again, and you mention it every time he's broke off, Willie, every time Ricky Walden breaks off he ties the black up.
Must find a new break, John, because I don't know whether it normally happens. I've not seen enough of Ricky this season to see whether it happens all the time, but if it does, that's to no value for him because he's a break boarder.
Slight mistake there from Mark, and I think he's left a red. Okay, it's not going to be easy with the white tied against the side cushion, but I think there's a pot on here. Now, has he got the angle on this red to stun it in and cannon the red
6.
to the right of the black and bring the black into play? It looks just about perfect. It's just all about, though, catching that red just to the right of the black. Want to catch it in such a way, sort of half ball on the right hand side of it, but so you don't disturb the black when you're playing the shot. Play with a lot of pace. Well,
7.
did he play the cannon there, will he?
I must admit, John, your shot was the shot. I'm really surprised. He did have the chance there of doing that.
Well, I'm looking at his body language, I'm looking at the expression on his face. I think he played the cannon, and he probably thought, well, what I'll
9.
do, I'll play the thin cannon on the red, release the black. Okay, I won't take a chance being on the black, I'll go up for blue or bought colour. But you look at his expression, so he did play the cannon. The question is now, how did he miss it?
I don't know whether he can screw across the face of the pink here and get onto the blue. If not, he'll play a little slow cannon onto the pink just to nudge it over the corner.
Ten.
Well, I can only presume he played to get on the pink in the middle, but he's kissed it, so either long blue or safety. Could be end of break. Yeah, he's played to miss the cannon on the pink and leave the pink in the middle with an angle to move reds into play, but because he kissed it, he's not on it. This is a pressure pot. That was a pressure pot.
Ricky
Get a
Walden,
good
10.
contact. He played a screw back for the one next to the black and got a kick.
Yeah, but he never had control of the cue ball, really, did he? He was always chasing it a bit. You're expecting to pop that blue normally, but tough circumstances at the moment.
One.
Seemed to be another kick there. No pace in the cue ball there, and a lot of cue power needed to screw on and off the cushion. He wants to come virtually straight back over his hand there, on and off the cushion for the red next to the black. Now, is it hard enough to make this red easy? He needs a bounce, because he'd like to be on it so he can flick the red away from the black. Let's have a look at the angle he's got.
3.
He can do it. It's perfect. Needs a good shot though. Needs to get into it. Doesn't want to kiss the black, just the red. Didn't
4.
screw back. End of break.
Mark Selby, 4. Thanks.
Well, just slipped past the blue. He was worried for a moment. This red though on the left hand side of the table is possible. I mean, you'd be a little bit concerned that you might run into those two reds near the top cushion, but if you could find a gap, it's worth taking on. Funny when you're in this position, when you only need one frame for victory, you sometimes think, well, should have pushed the boat out, one good shot and it could be a match winner. There you see it, it's those two reds that are near the top cushion. The one just to the right of the black obviously is the red we're talking about, half ball pot. He's worried though if he kisses into the other reds, and that's why he decided to play safe. So waiting for a better chance, and that's not a good safety, and if that kisses the blue, he'll be lucky not to leave something here. He's lucky not to leave something. Caught that a bit thick, but once again has just managed to slip past the blue. These are not perfect safety shots from Ricky, but he's just leaving tempters. But at the moment, Mark Selby not being tempted. Nothing in the frame, and not a lot in the match.
The red that's nearest the blue will pot into the corner, and if he's screwed into the side cushion, there's a possibility he could play it as a shot to nothing and get on the black. But he'd have to really get into the cue ball. It's not a straightforward safety. He can play safe, of course, off the one nearest the blue as well, and get the white back into port, but I think there's a bit of value in the pot. That's what he tried to do, get on the black.
1.
Potted it, but unfortunately didn't get the gap.
Mark Selby, 1.
This is going to have to be mighty thin. Oh, and was. Now if he misses the yellow, that is a terrific shot. Very well played. Couldn't have done much better than that. Okay, he may have left a pot on, but he's made it as difficult as he could.
Well, that excellent safety from Ricky Walden has forced the opening, and this is a chance to level, but a lot of work to do. But whenever you're at the table, you always fancy your opponent to score heavily.
1.
It's funny how different players look at it. I know Sullivan will be playing off one cushion into the pack, knowing that he's got the 2 reds available should he not get a good kiss. I just wonder whether Ricky will just play for a loose red. It's a perfect angle. Yep, just play for the loose one. Now, I'm not saying that's the wrong shot, but I mean, you know, you may not get a better angle on a colour. We'll just see what
4.
happens.
I'm just wondering here, Willie, if there's a possibility when he pots this red just above the black spot, he could screw into the cluster. He'd still be on the blue. Oh. Yeah, that's the type of shot we're thinking of. It'd still be on the blue, and he'd bring. He don't have to play it too hard. And I mean, even if he come hampered by the reds, he'd only a case of rolling the blue in. Well, he's not taking that option.
5.
Maybe he didn't have the correct potting angle, but he's now getting to that stage, and we've seen it a few times this season, that way if you leave it till the last minute to play that cannon, you just don't get the right angle on the colour, it can take you away from a frame winning opportunity.
12.
Can't play for the blue, because you can't get a cannon from blue to the red. You got to play for the black. Is there a red that's available without him going into the bunch? Anyway, he's got the angle on the black, so this could be the key to this frame and could tell us whether we're going to go into a decider. Well, should have done better than that, and
20.
doesn't need me to tell him. The waft of the cue when he couldn't get into it, he needed to hit that red at the very least half ball, and then the whoosh of the cue. It's annoying, frustrating. He knew that was a chance to level the match. He won't be doing it this visit now.
Ricky Walden, 20.
Just thinking, well, it's not the easiest safety, but if you get the cue ball in the circle, the one red he needs to cover is the one near the baulk cushion. If he can get it in the circle, I wouldn't be leaving anything easy.
Yeah, to get there, I think he's just going to hit the red a little bit too thick, John, and maybe we'd be worried about pushing one of those 4 reds into play that are near the pink spot, but I agree with you. He's decided against it, though, but probably for that reason. Just playing the safety, he's not playing the pot. Well, maybe he was playing the pot, but that was tough to play.
Well,
Played it
whatever.
nicely.
He's played it really well, yeah. Just going to say that. There's nothing wrong with that choice of shot. Well, decided to take a bit of a risk. Oh, in the worst possible scenario, he got the double kiss and he's left this red to the left of the pink here. And if Ricky can pot this, probably play a little cannon onto the brown, try and develop the brown. These three reds in the middle of the table down at this end, I think they're available. So this is a good opportunity to take us to a decider.
One.
Well, he'll be disappointed there. Just looked a straightforward, pot the red, cannon the brown half ball. You must develop it. Got into the cue ball too much. If you could get into it that much, then, well, you could have played for the pink in the middle. There's a sneaky shot here, Will, isn't there? Trickle up to the pink. Okay, Mark Selby will be able to hit the red on the baulk cushion, but he'll need the long spider.
Ricky appears to be looking to try and put a colour save the way he's looking around, but I agree with you, John, just to leave him that hampered queuing shot on the one on the baulk cushion.
Well, now I'm looking at it as... No, I don't suppose he can roll up to the green because he leave a path to that red. If you're going to leave a path to the red that's on the baulk cushion, you might as well be nestled up to the pink. But he should have been in a better position than this.
Ricky Walden, 1.
Well, I'm not quite certain what he played in the end, but as long as he's covered that red near the baulk end, near the baulk cushion, then, well, he's only covered it half ball. I don't know whether Mark can play safe off the red.
Spider.
Well, he's asking for the spider, so he feels as though he can. As I say, I'd have rather just nestled up to the pink, and then he'd have needed a long spider. It would have been a real tough shot.
Thank you.
The right-hand side of these three reds in the middle of the table will definitely pot into the left corner, and I think it's worth having a go at it. He's got two reds on the side cushion which he doesn't really want to bring into play. This red will pot, and if he knocks it in, it could win him the frame.
Similar scenario, does Mark risk the thin cut? He can go around the back of the black, or does he play the good safety shot off the red on the cushion? The fact that he's 26 points behind may bring the red into play as a better choice. Needs to cover the red on the right hand side cushion, albeit Ricky won't really want to move that off the cushion. That 26 point lead is quite good with that red there.
The red he's played, I mean, he'd love to have covered it with the yellow, but he hasn't, and I'm just wondering whether there's any value in taking this red on. The red in the middle of the table to the right corner. He's just come down to see if the red just above the blue will go into the right middle. If it doesn't, then it's worth taking this red on to the right corner. And if it doesn't, then he can play this red to the right corner, bring the cue ball down towards the left hand corner. The only red he could leave is the one he's playing. How close can you want to be without it dropping? So close. I assume the two reds in the middle of the table are not a plant, otherwise he wouldn't have played that shot. As I say, he played it in such a way the only red he could leave was the one he played to pot. They're not far away from a plant, are they? Decision time now for Ricky Walden. He seems to be snookered on all reds, and the red that he doesn't want to play, the one on the right hand side of the table, is the only one he can hit. So brown. For Ricky Walden. So if you miss the red, it's more or less a shot for nothing. Anyway, as I say, it doesn't matter now. Good pot. Blue's the obvious colour to play for. It looks unmissable.
Played
it well. Not perfect on the blue, which he'd like to be. I'm not certain if he's got a good angle on the yellow either. So just a little bit of work to do. Well, just a slight one. .35 ahead, 51 remaining. Now he's taking the yellow. He needs the 2 of these remaining 3 reds. If he pots this red and the black, he'd go 43 points in front. But there'll still be 43 left on the table. Certain when potting this red to cannon in the table if possible.
10.
Play it hard, but the red stayed in the middle of the table. So this black and 1 more red, and we're in for a nail-biting deciding frame. Ricky Walden, when they came out after the
17.
mid-session interval, and Mark Selby raised it up a gear. Able to respond, but he has, and he's dug in deep the last 2 frames. He's not won them. Well, the red doesn't go in, but it won't matter. Mark Selby won't bother coming back to the table, so I suppose in a way, the way the match is to and froed, 5 apiece is a fair reflection, and both players seem to be leaving the arena ready for that decider. Well, not both players. Well, they are now. I thought Mark Selby would leave the arena, and he is just making his way out. Ricky Walden went a few moments earlier. So, well, let's have a look at the stats of the match, Will, shall we? Let's see if we can put our finger on why it's 5 each.
Well, just having a little glance, it's very difficult to look at it, John. We're looking at it, they're very, very similar in all places, really. I think the key thing is both players have had touches of good form, but nobody's played consistently well.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I suppose the pot success, Ricky Walden below 90%. You would think that that could be, and his long pot success is lower than Mark Selby's. Safety success, not great from either player. Highest break, 100 for Mark Selby, 90 for Ricky Walden. I think the last couple of frames has just been the battling qualities of Ricky Walden that has seen him through. There was no big breaks in the last frame, but he dug in and he made it tough, and he got what was there, didn't take any risks.
Yes, all the stats are pointing to Mark Selby winning the match, aren't they? But as you rightly say, the last 2 frames, Ricky Walden's dug as deep as possible when he had to, without making any sizable breaks. He's got back into this match, and now all those stats don't mean anything really. It's down to 1 frame, and who's not going to say that Ricky Walden can win it?
Yeah, toss of a coin once you get to a frame. I mean, as we always say, you just hope for a chance. Who will get that chance? Who knows? Probably having led 5-3, just a little bit more pressure on Mark Selby, defending champion.
Can agree with you more, John. Yeah, it's there's no pressure on Walden now. He knows that Selby's going to be feeling it, and he's just going to have to knuckle down and hope if he gets a chance he can get 40 or above. You know, very rarely you see a frame, the deciding frame, won with an 80 or a 90 break. Just get a sizable lead.
Thank you. Final frame, Mark Selby to break.
Mark Selby, defending champion, gets the 11th and deciding frame underway. His hopes of retaining the title at the moment hinge on this frame.
Well, whatever happens now in this match, John, you've got to take your hat off to Ricky Walden. He's played nowhere near his best. Okay, you can say that Selby hasn't, but you know, he's proved that he's a seasoned match player now. He's won the Shanghai Masters, so he's proved he's a tournament winner as well. And I think until you can win scrappy matches, you know, people always kind of doubt whether you're just one of those people that needs to make centuries all the time or decent sized breaks. It's proved that he can compete.
Well, Hawkeye tells us what he's looking at. There's a couple of, well, there's a red near that right corner, which, well, wouldn't really fancy playing that. So what is this? Just a containing safety? That's all it is. And that was just basically trying to avoid leaving a pot. Remember that game we used to play in the snooker club years ago, Willie? Points. You know, where you say you played a penny a point. Our school was a little bit bigger than that, but whatever your opponent scores, what you left him, you had to pay him out. And you used to play safety shots like that, didn't you? Just know not to leave a pot on, not to leave any chance. The problem is when you do that, like for example in this instance, you just make it easy for your opponent to play a better safety. I remember once playing a session with Cliff Thorburn and Kirk Stevens, and Kirk Stevens made a 137 break following me. £2 a point. It hurt.
An aggressive safety, still the black out of commission. It's been a strange match. It's been out of commission virtually, out of the 10 frames, 7 times. We've not had the black in open play. That's the reason it's been a long match. Good safety that though. Tough to get back in the ball from here.
Yeah, that was an excellent shot. We talk about good pots and everything, but as you say, Willie, it was an attacking safety. And this is the problems that he's left Ricky Walden. It's going to be very difficult to get the cue ball back to the balk end. There is a slim possibility, but he's just going to come off the side cushion, it appears, and rest on that red near the top cushion. Played it well enough. Don't think there's any red that can pot. But while the player is just playing containing safety shots like that, well, Mark Selby will always have the upper hand in this tactical battle.
Another excellent safety shot, covering the right hand side reds up with the green. Very good.
So here we go. Now, can he just get past the green to make contact with the red on the... well, he can. The only problem with this type of shot, if you just catch it a little bit thick, you'll be struggling to get past the blue spot.
I think that's the only shot he's got, John, the thin one. And like you say, he's going to have to risk it. And with the red being to the left of the blue, if he does catch it just that fraction thick as you mentioned, John, he'll leave the lot on. But black's out of commission, so it's going to be hard to score enough to win the frame at one visit. But the pink's in open play. This is a big shot, this one. Oh, they couldn't have played it better. Okay, the kiss green has happened, but the way he played the shot deserves all he gets there. That was excellent.
Yes, brilliant. That really was. And he thought long and hard, because the consequences of not hitting it quite right, we told you about. He knew that. That put pressure on the shot. And okay, he just flicked the green, but that was an excellent safety. So it just shows you Mark Selby played two excellent safeties, put Ricky Walden in trouble, but that one good safety has put the shoe on the other foot. It's Mark Selby with the problem now.
Well, Mark Selby this time taking virtually a minute and a half to decide, and it could be a few more seconds yet, because I can't see a way back into baulk. He could play the deep screw on the red to the extreme left, just playing the red into the reds just to slow the reds down and hopefully screw back into baulk, but he'd have no idea what's going to happen to the reds he's hitting.
Well, that's what Mark's looking at, and I can't see any. Well, there's certainly no path back to baulk.
Jimbo.
Thank you, Ray. Was it Wilson Pickett said in the midnight hour? And that's exactly where we are. And it's been an interesting game in many ways. The first four frames were not the best, but since the mid-session interval, Mark Selby picked it up and really started to play well, but Ricky Walden has really dug in is a touching ball that's been declared here by referee Michaela Tabb, so it's an easy path back to the balk end. You would think he'd be trying to get in behind the brown. Well, I didn't quite get that line, but it's a good length with the cue ball. And at the moment, in this vital safety battle, you'd have to say Ricky Walden has the edge. Well, he didn't hit that well, and he'll be lucky if he's not left anything that's reasonably easy for Ricky Walden. That was a long way off the intended safety. As you can see where the cue ball finished, only just got past the middle pocket. Played to it that a lot thinner, and in actual fact he went to the right of the corner pocket. He wanted to be to the left of it, but not left anything that's a certainty pot wise. Well, I think he heard he said that was a kick or some kind of bad contact. Whatever it was, that cue ball didn't respond as he expected. He was trying to, I assume, try and get the cue ball back to the balk end. It's gone all wrong. So the first chance goes to the defending champion. Now, can we detect anything there? He was trying to screw back here. What's happened? Well, it's just a dead white, wasn't it? Got no response at all on the cue ball. And we were saying at the start of this frame that all you can hope for is a chance. And it's Mark Selby, not Ricky Walden, who's got that.
Six. Seven.
Well, the pink's in open play, so he can get at least 6 or 7 reds and either blue or pink off every red. And the way Selby normally, when he gets close to the winning post, plays,
12.
I'd expect this to be a very, very good chance to win frame and match at this visit.
13.
He's one of the players, as all the top players are now, when they get close to the winning line, they seem to find that extra little bit of pace, John, don't they?
Yeah, they don't look over the shoulder, they look straight ahead, and this is a good chance. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a frame winning one, but it's certainly a chance to put a nice few points on the scoreboard.
20.
Just gone past the 90 now, Mark Selby at 91%, and Ricky Walden,
36.
in fairness, has done well to stay in the match. I mentioned earlier on in commentary that he's proved to be a very, very good match player. You can see how depressed he is after that last shot, because he maybe feels that it could have been his last shot. Still a little bit of work to do yet, though. Anything above 50 from here will be good where the balls are.
$27. $33. $34.
Well, I don't think he's stunned through there as he would have liked, and
40.
I can't believe he played to hold the pink spot. I mean, if he, well, that's just an error if he did. The pink's out of commission now.
41.
Just didn't stun run through enough, and he's not good on the blue, so it's just going a little bit awkward now.
He's going to have to play the cannon, John, isn't he? I'm surprised he's not taking the blue, because you know the blue's an easy chance to play the red just above the pink and bring probably pink and black into play, and he still needs another 3 or 4 reds and colours, so he's going to have to play this. If he plays the green, he's going to have to rely on good position, and it's not easy from the green. As you rightly say, John, it was just a mishit shot, wasn't it, to hold the pink spot. He's played the stun run through and stopped it dead. He's got to play the blue. The green's no value at all. This was the shot that got him in trouble. He's just planning to just go through another 2 inches. Well, I'm really surprised that Mark's taking this green. Not only is he going to have to get onto a red, he's going to have to get onto the red with an angle where he can get back out for the blue, and an angle to get into the bunch. So he's got loads to do here. It just was the wrong shot.
44. $45.
And that is why, because now he's going to have to risk playing with a lot of side round 2 cushions. This can go wrong, and it makes the blue missable at the pace he's going to have to play it. Ricky knows that this is his possible last chance.
Yeah, that's the shot. It's one that he would played thousands of times. Left hand side on the cue ball, just to make the angle when he misses the yellow. Here it comes. He's gone straight into them. What's he on? He'll be settling for anything. I'm looking at
50.
Mark Selby. I'm looking at his body language, and it doesn't look good.
That looks very, very close to when they get through to this, but once again, even if he can get through to it, where does the colour come from? It's a very easy safety shot, the thin one in behind the green. You'd like to get tight on the cushion, right behind the green. And with pink and black out of commission, John, this 50-point lead is massive. But with the way the reds are, a couple of safety shots, I think pink and black will be an open play very quickly.
Yes, and we've seen a few twists and turns already in this match. Another look to see if he can get past the pink to play this red, but he's decided he can't, so he's playing the safety.
I mean, to be fair, it was a great effort from blue into the reds, and you can consider himself a little unlucky not to have had some sort of pot on, but it was a lot harder shot the one he played than the one he refused to go into them from the thin blue. But 50-point lead, pink and black out of commission for the moment. Strong favourite. Yes, the white didn't go into them dead, John, did it? It was a good effort, that. And bar for the black coming in off the cushion, he had the red in the middle. Ricky Walden needs to hope he gets one more chance, but where that red's going, he may not. The bonus is he's got a good white. The white's going to be running loose here.
Yes, it's a tough game, this, isn't it? Every shot that he plays now, Ricky, and it doesn't go absolutely right, is a cause for concern. This would be a certainty, this red, if he wasn't so close to the baulk cushion. But in these circumstances, just concentrate on the pot. Where the cue ball finishes, it doesn't really matter. Make certain you don't miss the red.
One.
Well, he's on the brown, and he's not a bad angle on the brown. I think he's got enough angle to stun up for the red in the middle of the table. He's just having a look where he'd like to be. Somewhere near the circle would be fine, and I think he's got the angle to get there.
This is the key shot. Top side of the blue, one good cannon, end of frame and match. He's got the angle.
6.
Yes, this blue, one more red would be enough. There you see. 4 hours, 23 minutes. It's been interesting. It was pedestrian in the early stages of it. Ricky Walden had a chance to go 3-1. That could have been the turning point. Plays the cannon. Has he got on the red he needs? No. He's not on a red.
11.
He's 61 points in front. But there's still a possible 67 left on the table. It's not over.
Yes, Mark would love to play a safety shot here to put either the pink or black safe, but he can't do that. The thin safety shot should take him in behind the yellow. He needs to get tight on the baulk cushion though, really make it difficult for Ricky to play a good safety shot. Now is he going to get tight?
Mark Selby, 11.
Played behind the brown. As long as he's tight, it's a great shot. Just see the red above the black, but can he get the white back into baulk?
Well, you say that, Willie. Can he see the red above the black? I'm not certain he can. And if he can't, he's in big, big trouble. Do you think he can?
I do. But maybe he can't hit it thick enough to avoid the cannon on the black and pink, and that's probably the reason he's looking for an alternative. But remember, it's 61 in it, so if he doesn't hit a red, it's 65. I think I'd risk playing the one next to the black early and hope you get a good white.
Well, that's what he's playing, the red just above the black. Oh, he didn't hit it. He didn't hit it.
Oh, yeah.
He's hit the black.
Mark Selby,
To be fair, Michaela Tabb didn't see it, but Ricky Walden said immediately, I fouled the black, and now he's 68 points behind and there's only 67 left on the table. He needs a snooker.
Yeah, very sporting of Ricky that, but Michaela was watching that he didn't foul the ball. He was near his hand, and you know, there's nothing wrong with just asking with a player. The players are very, very sporting. And it's a shame he had to lose the match that way, to be honest, because it's tough to see him winning the frame and match now.
I think you'll have learnt a lot from this match tonight. We know he won the ranking event, won the Shanghai Masters, but he just started off this match a bit hesitantly and was more concerned with, I thought, his opponent than his own game. And it's a learning process.
Yeah, the big frame was the frame 4, John, wasn't it? He led by 37 points to nil at one time, and he was in the balls, lost position, and he ended up losing that frame to go 2-all at the interval. And since then, Mark Selby's certainly played the better of the two, so Ricky Walden's just been hanging on to his coattails, so as you rightly say, he'll learn a lot from it.
Yeah, and I think he's learned a lot from the point of view that when Mark Selby did go 5-3 in front, he dug in and he's shown a lot of tenacity. It's not all about potting balls and big breaks. He's got a good competitive instinct. I mean, one snooker, we've seen it happen so many times, but unfortunately, the way the balls are situated at the moment, he's got to get in and he's got to pot reds and blacks to give himself a chance of playing for that one snooker. Can't play for a snooker when there's 5 reds on the table. Well, I think he can pot this red to the right corner, but he's got to be on black or pink. Let me have a look. 67 on the table, 68 behind. Well, he could afford a blue, I mean, and still need a snooker. But he could afford one blue and still be in the same position.
It's just about missing the yellow, John, if he plays the black, isn't it? How is he going to get round the back of them? Decided the pot was far too risky, but putting the green safe's not in his favour.
In a way, he's probably fortunate that that red did hit the green, because if that red had come down at this end of the table, I don't see what value he'd have got out of that shot whatsoever.
That was a little bit twitchy. Mott played to get the white to rest right on the brown, so he was snookered for this red, but Ricky's got a chance here of getting all reds into play, which he has done, and tight on the cushion. So Mark Selby may have to leave a pot after this shot. It's going to be tough to get safe from here. Yeah, clever little shot. Just pushing the red on the side cushion. Didn't worry where the white finished. Knew that he wouldn't be leaving a pot on.
There you go, 4.5 hours now. I think we can see who the winner is. It's just a case of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Well, unless this red goes, there's a possibility for... Well, he can pot this red. Needs to be on the black. Well, just trying to squeeze it in. It's a tall order, and he's left the red now along the top cushion. And if Mark Selby rolls this in, that will be end of frame and match. It's there, so, and he's on the black. Last year he came here as a debutant. Well, the black doesn't go. He came as a debutant and won it at his first attempt. An edgy, nervy start to his defence, but it looks as though he's over the winning line now. 69 points in front, just 59 left on the table. Ricky Walden, well, he'd be disappointed. He's had chances, he's not played his best, which always disappoints a player. But I think Ricky Walden at the moment just going through the motions. The way the balls are situated, he's not going to fancy pulling this one out of the fire. And even less now. He's left the red on. And I think it'd be a handshake as soon as Mark Selby looks at him. As I say, not vintage Mark Selby, but the fact of the matter is, he hasn't lost a match here so far. He played 4 last year and won them in his, as I say, his
8.
first appearance at the Masters. And he's now well and truly won this. There goes a handshake, they're good friends. I don't think either player will be that pleased with the way he played, but of course Mark Selby goes on to the quarter-final. A chance to get better. The defending champion through by 6 frames to 5.